Nigerians in the diaspora and global listeners searching for the sound of home. We didn't just grow, we grew with you. Through weddings and wins, through heartbreaks and hustle, through late nights, early mornings, and everything in between. Because it was never just radio.
Beautiful.
It's
and
lifestyle.
Some are simply unbelievable. Say it all on Dear Louie, a platform to share real stories, experiences, and life's strangest moments. We'll help you find answers, healing, hope, and a way out. Only on Dear Louie. Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays on Rhythm 93.7. Real stories worth sharing. Dear Louie. Say it here.
Good evening and welcome to Dear Louie on Rhythm 93.7 FM. You know, life has a way of dividing itself in two parts. There is life before everything changed and the life after. Now, for some people, the moment comes with the loss of a loved one. For others, it's an accident, maybe a phone call or a diagnosis they never saw coming. Now, imagine waking up one morning thinking about work, family, and what to have for lunch, only to find yourself sitting in the doctor's office hearing words that completely changed your life. Words like, you have cancer. It's a diagnosis that carries so much fear, not just because of the illness itself, but because of everything that comes with it. The questions, the uncertainty, the treatment, the waiting, the emotional weight, and for many people, the fear of what tomorrow might look like. But this evening isn't just about cancer alone. It's about courage, it's about hope, it's about discovering strength you never knew that you had. It's about what happens when life gives you another chance. Joining me this evening is someone whose story is one of resilience, faith, and healing. She goes by the name She Fights Cancer on Instagram. Please help me welcome Dawodu Tolulope. Thank you so much for joining me, and you happen to be a cancer survivor, so thank you for trusting us with your story.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, so tell me about yourself, you know, before cancer, before you had the diagnosis, what was life like?
Okay, so first off, my name is Tolulope, and I was 26 years old when I got diagnosed with cancer. My life before cancer wasn't all fun, or, you know, it wasn't extra. It was just there. Yeah, it was just there.
Okay. So, do you remember the day that, you know, you got diagnosed? What was that day like for you?
How do I put it? That day was, I would say it's one of the most traumatic day of my life. Yeah. It felt surreal. You know, even after I got my diagnosis, after I got the test results that the biopsy result that I went for, after I got the result and I went through it, it still felt like there has to be a mistake somewhere. Yeah. And then even after I met with my doctor, it wasn't until I met with the breast surgeon that I was with, because when I went into the hospital, I was directed to the surgical departments of the general hospital. So I was talking to the surgeon then. So when I showed him my results, and it was like, he kept talking about it. And then he was very straightforward, you know. He said, oh, the next thing after this is to get the breast removed. When he said it, I thought he was joking. Matter of fact, I was laughing. I thought he was joking. But then they saw me laughing, and he was like, why are you laughing? I'm serious. He said, why are you laughing? I'm serious. That was when I realized that, okay, this is serious.
This is serious.
Yeah.
And so you were diagnosed with breast cancer, and you had to take it off. Wow. So what was that like for you?
Life-changing. Life-altering, to say the least. Yeah. It was life-changing. It changed my life, not necessarily in a very bad way. You know, like I said earlier, my life before cancer wasn't all that fun and all of that. I used to be a very private person. Matter of fact, I don't like going out. I didn't used to like going out. But now, since my diagnosis, I've become more vocal, and I tend to put myself out there more now. Yeah. So I'll say that's like the positive impact of,
just to create awareness.
Yes.
Okay, so what was the procedure itself like? Was it painful? Mentally, how were you even doing mentally?
Okay, so the procedure itself, it's called mastectomy, the breast removal. That was the first step for me. It was the removal, the mastectomy. So the mastectomy itself is, while doing the surgery, I was under anesthetics, so I didn't know what it felt. I didn't know what was going on. But when I woke up, when the anesthesia wore off, I felt, the pain that I felt was, I don't even know how to explain it. I'm a mom, I've had a child, and I've been through labor pains. So I'd multiply the labor pains by 10.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That was when I woke up. The anesthetics had wore off, and the whole pain just rushed in. It rushed in. Now, that's the physical pain. The mental pain itself, it's insane. It's something that I'm just, teaching myself to get over. Yes.
All right. Studio Lagos, we're still here. We're still talking to Tolulope. She's a cancer survivor, and I've got so many questions to ask her. But let's just go on a little break, and when we get back, of course, we have so much more to talk about. Stick with us. This is Dear Louie.
Thoughts under an open sky. There has always been one frequency riding with you. Rhythm 93.7 FM didn't just play music. We scored your moments. When you celebrated, we turned it up. When you stumbled, we lifted your spirit. When the nation held its breath, we stayed present, informing, connecting, caring. Across Lagos, Port Harcourt, Benin, Abuja, and every heartbeat in between. One rhythm, one sound, one family. And now, beyond borders, streaming across continents, connecting Nigerians in the diaspora and global listeners searching for the sound of home. We didn't just grow, we grew with you. Through weddings and wins, through heart.
That's her Instagram name. She goes by Tolulope, and she's a cancer survivor. And I have a lot of questions to ask her. So let's talk about mentally. What was it like for you mentally, having to get one breast off?
Draining. I tend to live with the fact that I struggle to find myself beautiful. Yeah. I know I say I go online and I talk about accepting yourself the way you are and all that, but it's a struggle for me, myself. I look at the mirror and the person and I'm seeing is not someone I'm familiar with. Do you understand? So it's a struggle. And sometimes I feel like, oh, I'm ugly, this and that. And even with my partner has been super supportive and all of that. And he says, oh, no, you're beautiful and all of that. But it's stuck to my head, Even after he says you're beautiful and all that, I still feel like I'm not beautiful enough. I'm not beautiful anymore like I used to be. Yeah.
Did your child ask you questions?
Oh, of course he did.
What was that like for you?
Painful. My son is he's 8 years old and he's super sensitive. So, and he's very curious. So as much as I tried to hide it, he notices a lot of things and all of that. So recently I asked a question that it touched me. So he said, Mommy, is it going to grow back? You didn't ask, you didn't say specifically, you just said, is it going to grow back? And I asked what? He said, you didn't want to say it. I said, talk, what are you talking about? Your breast, is it going to grow back? And I the shock I had. You know, at first it was shock. I was dumbstruck. I didn't know what to say. Then I said, no, it's not going to go back, but something can be done about it. I said, okay.
All right, let's talk about now your family, friends, were they supportive? Because when people tend to go through things like this, the people that are really there for you, you either have support or you lose a lot of friends and family. So what was that like for you?
In my case, my family was super supportive. Yes. And my friends. Matter of fact, people that, we weren't talking. I mean, acquaintances that, we knew each other, but we weren't talking. When they heard about my diagnosis and, heard about my fundraising, everybody turned up for me.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes, everybody. Matter of fact, after my surgery, I didn't know my treatment was going to be that expensive. So when I found out the whole cost and all of that, I didn't even know I was going to be able to continue the treatment because it was a lot of money. I had given up. But then something just pushed me to, put my story out there and all of that. So when I posted it and did all of that, people turned up for me. My family, friends, people that I didn't even know, they turned up for me.
All right, so everybody was supportive and everybody was strong,
yes.
For you. But were there moments where you were alone and you could not just keep up with strength? You did not just have it in you to be strong.
So the thing is, with cancer, regardless of how much people you have around you, there are times where you feel alone. It's not just me. I'm very sure quite a number of survivors, not just cancer survivors, people that have been through some sort of terminal illnesses, I'm pretty sure they can attest to it. You have a full house of people supporting you. There are times that you feel alone because people can only say, oh, we understand how you feel. They don't really understand how you feel. They might have an idea, but they don't really know how you feel because they've not been through what you've been through. So there are days where I'll have everyone around me and I'll just want to be alone. I'll just go to my room, lock myself in the room, and I'll just sit down and start crying. Do you understand? There are several days like that. Even till now, I still feel that way. I lock myself in the room and I just want to cry.
I understand. Did you try counseling, therapy at any point?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so what was your source of strength?
After crying, I opened the door and, I met my family. So basically my family, my son.
All right. So in all of this, what scared you the most? Was it the illness itself, the treatment, or the uncertainty of not knowing what tomorrow looked like?
The uncertainty. That's the thing with cancer. You don't know what's coming next. Even after your treatment, even after you've done everything right.
Really?
Yes, even after you've done everything right, the uncertainty, it still lingers, People tend to have reoccurrence. I have friends that have had reoccurrence that they had been done with the old treatments and it came back. Sometimes it even comes back worse than
worse, really?
Yes. Even after spending millions of naira to treat themselves, it comes back. So that uncertainty, that's the greatest fear that I have.
Till now?
Yeah.
Okay, so was there ever a moment when you were like, you know what, I don't think I can do this anymore? Because you obviously cried a lot. Would you say you were depressed at any point?
I almost got depressed. But the people around me would not even allow me, Whenever they say that I'm close to that stage, they try their best to bring me back, to remind me that I am loved. And all of that.
So apart from your family, what else kept you going through during those dark days?
we have a community of cancer
Okay.
patients and cancer survivors. So communities like that, outside of my family, we strengthen ourselves. So we have several cancers community, to be specific, breast cancer communities. So we call ourselves breasters or sisters, So I have sisters like that, that whenever we see that, okay, this person is going through this or that, we tend to, bring ourselves together. We go out, we have fun. So that has been another source of strength for me. Yeah.
All right, that's lovely. So basically you had support and all of that. Let's get into misconceptions that people have about, cancer, or things, funny things you've heard, anything that, you experienced that you just like to talk about on here or correct.
Okay, so number one misconception is that cancer, chemotherapy cures. So before my treatment, before I started chemotherapy, I had so many people, unsolicited advices. They would come into my DM and be like, "Oh, I heard you're trying to raise money for chemotherapy. Please don't take chemotherapy. Chemotherapy would, kill you. Chemotherapy would do this, would do that." And it is not true. And a lot of people tend to believe these people.
Okay.
It is baffling.
So they just come into your DM and they
Yes.
say chemotherapy is bad.
Yes.
They're not backing it up with anything.
No,
they're just telling you.
They say chemotherapy is bad. It kills because it weakens your immune system. So it kills this and that. That they would advise that I take herbs instead of
Chemo.
chemo. And a lot of people, quite a number of people, believe them. I know a couple of people that had passed due to this. They abandoned their treatments and went for herbs.
So are you saying that it is not right to take herbs to treat cancer?
I'm not saying it is not right. Everyone to their own. But even if you would take herbs, let it be an alternative treatment. Do you understand? While you're taking chemotherapy and the rest, you can have alternative treatments. That's totally fine. But don't abandon.
Okay, don't abandon it.
Yes, don't
Okay.
abandon
Whatever
it.
the doctor
I
has
took
ordered.
chemotherapy. I took 6 rounds of chemotherapy. And if you meet me on the road and I don't tell you that I am cancer survivor, you would not know. Do you get? So I took chemo and I survived. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying chemo is hell. So I'm not saying chemo is easy. Chemo is hell. I know what I went through while taking chemo. Chemo is terrible. The side effects, they are crazy. But it would treat you. Just do everything your doctor, your consultant, oncologist asked you to do, and you're going to be fine. So anyone telling you to abandon chemo, radiotherapy, and the likes, and just opt for herbs, please don't listen to them.
All right. So you keep saying that chemo is hell, and of course, I mean, we've seen movies, we've seen how it is. Some people get breasts chopped off, some shave their head. They're taking chemo, and it's painful, excruciatingly painful. We can see it, But how would you? I mean, you've experienced this now in real life. How would you describe that entire treatment to somebody that is listening and maybe doesn't understand? What would you say it is like?
In one word, hell.
Yes, you keep saying it
I'm
is
telling
hell.
you. Because, okay, so let me
So
start
what's
with
the
this.
process? Let's even start.
Okay, so for chemotherapy, so in my case, let me just break it out. I had 6 rounds of chemotherapy. I had 21 cycles of radiotherapy, and I'm currently on targeted therapy, Herceptin. Now I'm taking the targeted therapy because of the type of breast cancer that I have. It's called HER2 positive. So it's one of the most aggressive type of breast cancer. Do you understand? So the first step for me was chemotherapy. So I was taking chemotherapy together with my targeted therapy, Herceptin. So for the chemotherapy, it's they get medications and then they pass it into normal saline. So it's usually given like the same way they give drip. Yes, so that's how they give chemotherapy. But it's not drip, it's not normal saline. It's packed with a lot. Do you understand this part? Mine was okay. So the first time I was given the chemotherapy, when it was going into my vein, it felt like fire was going into my vein.
Wow.
They had to stop it because I started throwing up. I started feeling cold. It was terrible. In fact, they had to stop it. They had to pass to give me normal saline to flush the whole thing in, and they had to wait for about an hour for me to calm down. Tried again, the same thing. Waited another 1 hour before I was finally able to take it. And normally, I take 2 bags of chemotherapy per day. So each takes about 2 hours. No, sorry, both takes 2 hours. So instead of waiting for 2 hours, I was there for about 5 hours because of it. But for me, in my own case, after the first day, after the first time, the second, third, and fourth, they were not easy, but they were not as bad as the first one. So the 6th one was as bad. In fact, it was worse than the first one was. It was that bad. So Herceptin is equally painful, but not as painful as, chemotherapy. Radiotherapy was the worst for me. I said chemotherapy was hell. You're going to multiply that by 10. Radiotherapy was worse. The side effects that I had, I couldn't eat throughout my radiotherapy. I was only able to take water. Even water, swallowing my saliva felt like I was swallowing shards of glass.
Really?
It was that bad. I couldn't eat anything. My mom would make watery custard or pap for me to drink. Even drinking that was painful. But I just had to take something so I would, have strength. So radiotherapy was bad.
All right, now let's talk about signs. Before the cancer, were there signs that your body tried to tell you that you may be ignored?
I had lots of signs.
Okay, let's get into it. Let's talk about it.
Okay, so I had lots of signs. So I got diagnosed 2024 December. Well, prior to that
December? Oh my God.
Yeah. So prior to that time, sometime around 2022, my breast, the same breast where I had the cancer, it got swollen overnight. It was like times 3 or 4 of the normal size. Silly me.
Both of them or just one?
No, just one. The exact one where one.
Okay.
I didn't do anything about it. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't get it checked. So it got swollen overnight. It was like that for the whole day, and then the following day, it went back to the normal size.
Okay.
I didn't know what happened, but I didn't get it checked. Now that was it. Then in 2023, I started to lactate. I wasn't pregnant. I wasn't breastfeeding. I just started lactating out of the blue. When I noticed that, I was supposed to go to the hospital or somehow get it checked. I didn't do anything. And mind you, I lactated for the whole of 2023.
A whole year?
Yeah. And I didn't do anything about it. I didn't go to the hospital. I didn't talk to anyone about it.
What was going through your mind that you didn't do anything about it? What were you thinking?
So I knew it wasn't normal, but I didn't think it was anything serious. I can be that nonchalant. I didn't think it was anything serious because prior to my diagnosis, I had never heard of anyone talk about cancer. Aside watching it in movies and all of that, it had never been real to me. I had never heard anyone, create awareness or sensitization about it, anything like that. So I didn't know what was going on. I knew it wasn't normal, but I didn't think it was anything serious. So the whole of 2023 was like that. Then in 2024, around April 2024, I had my bath. I was cleaning my body in front of a mirror, and my hand just went to my chest, and I felt a tiny lump in my chest, in my breast, not my chest. So when I saw the lump, I met my mom, and I showed it to my mom. Mommy, I found something. My mom was like, what's this one like this? We just waved it off. About another week or thereabout, the lump was still there. It had grown a bit bigger than it was. I still didn't do anything. I didn't talk to anyone. So about a month, 2 months in, the lump had progressed. Now, instead of me to go to the hospital or a lab to get checked or something, ChatGPT became my doctor. You know. So I asked questions on ChatGPT. ChatGPT said, if the lump is painful, then it's benign. But if it's not painful, then it's probably malignant, meaning malignant, cancerous, benign, non-cancerous. So when I read that, and I pressed my lump and it was painful, so I was like, okay, I'm fine. But then the lump it was still getting bigger.
And bigger.
So there was this pharmacist around my area. I met him. And when I asked him, he said the exact same thing ChatGPT told me. So I was like, okay,
You're
I'm
good.
fine. I'm good. But this thing did not stop getting big. It continues to get, it got bigger that, it was as tiny as an orange seed.
Oh, okay.
And it got as big as a baseball,
Wow, that big?
Yes, and it was disfigured and discolored. It was greenish black.
Just
my
around that, on
Yes,
your
just,
skin?
yeah, on top like this. And I started to fall sick. And normally, I don't fall sick. I don't get malaria or typhoid. I don't fall sick. But I started to fall sick. I treated malaria, treated typhoid, got injections, drips, and all
So
that.
before you treated yourself for malaria and typhoid, did you go to the hospital?
I did not.
Or you self-diagnosed?
Self-diagnosed. No, I did test. I ran some tests and said it was malaria and typhoid.
Oh, okay. So you just went to the lab
Yeah,
then?
so we
Okay.
did. So I got treated. But I got better one day, and then the following day, I fell sick again. So my mom just told me one day and said, are you sure it's not this thing in your breast that is making you sick? And that just felt like a veil was lifted off my face.
After how many years?
That was around November.
Of what year? Because this started in 2023, right?
So I saw the lump April 2024. I didn't do anything about it. I fell sick and all of that until November. So November, my mom said that, and it just struck me. So when she said it,
the problem.
So when she said it, the following day after she said it, I went to the lab to get it checked. So I went for a breast ultrasound. When I got there, the pathologist that was to attend to me, the minute I took off my clothes and he saw my breast, this man shouted.
Wow.
He said, why are you just coming in? I had to lie to him that, this surgery started about 2 months ago. Whereas it had been over 6 months. What am I saying? Almost 8 months. Yeah. So he said, even at that, 2 months, that's a very long time to keep this. He just kept saying, he suspects this thing is malignant. But let us run the test. So he ran the test and he said it was suspicious. So he advised that I went to an hospital and get a biopsy done. So when I went to the hospital, I met with the doctor at General Hospital. The doctor said, I didn't have to do biopsy, that I could just go for FINAC. He said because most times the lump might just be benign and I'll just waste money for the biopsy. So I was like, okay, let me do the FINAC. I did FINAC. The test came back and said it was suspicious malignancy. I went back to another doctor. The doctor said, why would he ask me to do FINAC when I was clearly told to go for biopsy? So he asked me to go for the biopsy. I went for biopsy, and biopsy brought it out that it was invasive ductal carcinoma, meaning breast cancer.
Yeah.
And that was how the whole thing, started.
Oh my God. That must have been a lot for you. I'm sure you must have, beating yourself up and all of that.
I still battle with, self-guilt. Yeah.
Because I'm sure if you cut it when it was still a seed, you would have just, removed the lump. Have you been able to, at the very least, forgive yourself?
I'm trying to. Yeah, I'm trying.
It's not going to be easy, but you have to. We live and we learn. All right. During this season, during this time, is there anybody that said anything to you that maybe doesn't make any sense or was not even comforting at all?
Several, but I'll just pick up two.
Okay.
So there's this person that is, we are close, pretty close. So one time, he spoke to me about the videos that I make. So he was
The
like,
promotional videos and
yeah, that I
awareness
make,
videos
yeah.
that you make.
So he said, because sometimes I show my scar and all of that.
Oh, okay.
So he was like, Tolu, do you not see yourself beyond this? Do you not see yourself beyond this? Meaning, do you not see yourself in a greater place tomorrow? Because of, I mean, you do this. What if you're in a better place tomorrow? What if you run for president, for governorship, minister, or something like that? And how do you explain doing all of this, showing all of this?
But it's your scar. You're trying to educate people because
So
you have
I told him,
experienced it.
my response to him that day was, I'm not doing this because of sympathy or because I just want to do it. I do it to sensitize people about cancer because I didn't get that. Before my diagnosis, I didn't know anything about cancer. So I do this for sensitization, and a lot of people, I know of a lot of people that my video has helped. A lot of people.
Oh, really?
A lot of people.
In
that
what way?
Okay, so there's this case that God helped us handle. So sometime last year, I went to Fresh FM. I was at Fresh FM at Ibadan. So I spoke on the radio and all of that. The following day, a lady reached out to me, crying on phone. She said her dad's friend got my number on air and sent it to her. And she was like, I need that she needs my help. That she had been diagnosed since 2024. Since early 2024. She has had her surgery since early 2024, and she has not had anything else aside the surgery. As a matter of fact, there's this test that we run after surgery. It's called immunohistochemistry. It's used to determine the type of breast cancer you're battling. It's very important. She had not been able to do that test. Talk more of starting chemo and all of that. So she had just been stopped with mastectomy, and she was having another ingrown lump inside that mastectomy, the mastectomy site. So she said, matter of fact, she thought she was the only person battling breast cancer.
What?
She thought she was the only person
battling
breast cancer.
Wow.
She said she had never seen anyone else. She thought she feels like she's alone in the world and all of that. So and thank God she was living very close to she stays at Ikorodu as well. So I had to go to her house. I met with her, and that day we made a video to solicit for help online. The following day, this lady got money.
Really?
She was able to raise money for her immunohistochemistry test.
Everything?
For her test.
Okay,
and
for her test.
Yeah,
okay,
right now she's done with chemotherapy. She had 8 rounds of chemotherapy.
And
she got the money online.
She got the money
yes.
online. People were able to come through for her.
At first, she was shy. She said she does not want to make the video. That what would people say? People that knew her, what would they say, and all of that. I started preaching to her. I told her, do you want to die? You have a child. It's either what people would say or your life. Do you understand? So lots of people like that had seen my video, and my videos had strengthened them. It has encouraged them in so many ways that I can't even begin to count. So that was my response to the man.
Okay, let's talk about the first day that you looked at yourself in the mirror, looked at your scar, and you said, you know what, I think I'm coming back to myself. I think I'm getting my spark back.
Okay, so before I still struggle
Definitely
with accepting myself.
You've mentioned,
but it took me a lot of time to even look at myself in the mirror.
Oh wow.
After my surgery, after the bandage and plasters were taken off, it took me a very long time to look at the mirror. It took me a very long time. A very, very long time. But then one day I just gathered the strength, and I looked at it, and it felt ugly. I'm not even going to lie. It looked so ugly. It looked so ugly. And I'm still struggling with finding that strength. Honestly, I just try to compensate with, looking good outwardly. Yeah. That's what I do. I compensate with looking beautiful outwardly. I try my best to do good outwardly. I still struggle. I'm not going to say I've accepted it.
Okay, so you're not there yet.
I'm not there yet, honestly. If I add the money, I would have gone for reconstruction. Like, as soon as possible. Because, no. And I doubt I'd ever be able to accept that. So, God bless me. I'll be able to raise that money and go for the reconstruction, because, no.
All right. What do you have to say to people that were once like you? Because I imagine now that if you have a headache, you are running to the hospital. So what do you have to say to people that do not necessarily take their health maybe serious? They notice something and they're self-diagnosing. They're going to the lab as opposed to, going to get proper help from maybe a doctor.
Okay, so
given that you've experienced it, so they might as well just hear from you.
What I'd say is, don't assume. Don't assume the headache is just lack of sleep. Don't assume if you have an headache. Headache could be a warning sign for something, more serious. It could mean a lot of things. A lot of things. So don't just assume, this is the cause for this. Don't self-medicate. Don't self-diagnose. Don't make ChatGPT your doctor or your consultant. Don't do that. Please don't do that. And oftentimes our body tends to warn us. Even before major things comes out. Our body tends to warn us with little signs that that we ignore. And then those little signs, they compound and become something huge that we eventually be like, okay, this is serious, and we begin to spend lots of money on. So the minute you start to notice something different from your usual self, please go to an hospital. In fact, normally we're supposed to run medical checks like every 3 months or thereabouts. So don't wait until something happens to you before you go to the hospital. I know we Nigerians, we tend to be like, that's the way you define. You go see with the hospital. But honestly, it's not like that. It's better you catch it early. It's better you catch it early. And honestly, it's not like these sicknesses would come and knock on your door and tell you, please prepare. I'm coming to your body by next week. It just comes, and if you don't check, you won't know. If you don't check, you won't see it. You won't see it. So please check yourself at least every 3 months. Be sure that nothing is wrong with you. Be sure that nothing is wrong with you, because once you catch it early, then you can combat it well, and you would even respond to treatment better than when it's caught late. And regarding cancer, breast cancer to be precise, we always advise people to do their self-checks. And doing your self-checks is, if you cannot afford to go to the hospital to do breast ultrasound or the other test for cancer, for breast cancer, you can do your self-checks at home. You just need to lie down on the bed, or you stand in front of a mirror, raise your hand up, press your armpits upwards to your breast, every part of your breast down to the underneath of your breast. Check your armpits and be sure that there's no lump there. Now, that's not to say that every lump that you find in your breast means that you have cancer. Some lumps are benign, meaning they are non-cancerous, but you need to at least check it. And even some lumps that are benign, if they are left unattended, they tend to grow and become malignant. So the best thing is to catch it early. So you do your self-checks. If possible, do it every day. Do you understand? Not just women, including men, because men get breast cancer too.
Yes, I read actually that men also get
breast cancer. So you do your self-check, be sure there's nothing there. So even if there's anything there, you catch it early, and don't be like me. That's caught it early, but decided not to do anything about it.
All right. You survived cancer now. How has, surviving cancer changed the way that you maybe love? Because you said you have a partner and he's supportive, he's stuck by you, you have a child. So how has this, changed the way you love, work, dream, spend your time, and generally go about life? Because
So-
life-changing situations tend to make us see life from a different lens.
Yes. So I when you asked me about how my life was prior to cancer, I told you it was just there. Like I said earlier, cancer has not been all bad for me. It has changed a lot of things about me. A lot of things. I see the world in a very different light now. I used to just exist. Now I try my best to, live. And now I say that anything could happen to you at any moment. So the best thing is just to, live your life as good, as best as you can, and try to enjoy it. So I tend to do that. I try to enjoy life and appreciate the people around me more.
I like
Because they've been so good to me. Yeah, my partner, I mean, he's always been a loving person, but then going through this with me, it's been amazing, honestly. And my family too. Not just my family, even friends, regular people that we don't even talk. I didn't know that people could turn up for me like that. Even till now, people would randomly I could just pick up my phone and I'll get a random text from a random stranger checking up on me.
Oh, that's lovely.
People will just, nameless number, some I do not know. Oh, Caesar, how have you been? I just went to check up on you. And that
lovely.
would melt my heart that, okay, people can be this nice. People can be this good. Yeah.
All right, Tolulope, thank you so much. Thank you for your honesty, and thank you for allowing us into, one of the most difficult chapters of your life. It's one thing to survive cancer. It's another thing entirely to relieve those memories that someone else can find hope from, It takes a different kind of courage, and we're grateful here that you chose to share that courage with us this evening. Now to you listening, and if anything, this evening's conversation has stirred something in you, let it be a reminder not to ignore your body when it tells you that something isn't right. Go for that checkup, ask questions, get screened. Early detection can save lives. And if you're currently on your own journey with cancer or walking beside someone who is, I hope this evening reminds you that you're not alone. There will be difficult days. There will be days filled with fear. There would also be days filled with hope, healing, laughter, and life beyond the diagnosis. This has been Dear Louie, where every story reminds us that even in our most difficult moments, there is room for grace, love, courage. I'm Louie. Thanks for, rocking with me this evening, and take care of yourselves.
Breaks and hustle through late nights, early mornings, and everything in between. Because it was never just radio. It's lifestyle, it's culture, it's connection. More music, less noise, more feeling, more life. This isn't just a station. This is your rhythm. Rhythm FM, growing with you everywhere. From your very first day in secondary school, to campus dreams that kept you awake at night, to that first job interview that changed everything.